Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. We are going to give you an update on Spire Condominiums, which is a new construction tower in the Denny Triangle Belltown neighborhoods in downtown Seattle. Larry is going to jump on here and kind of give us a full scope on what's been going on in 2023. It's been very active for them over at Spire in terms of the number of sales that they've had. They did some price reductions as well and just have some overall great offerings for views, square footages, the amenity packages, everything. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and hope everyone is doing well. Thanks, Larry, for taking the time to kind of give us an update on Spire. It's always nice to hear kind of how the project's doing. I know just in terms of how the first couple months of the year, we're seeing more momentum behind the traffic for resale, but also new construction hearing. And I know that Spire is doing really well. It's kind of the fastest selling new construction tower downtown for sure.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Like always, love being able to chat with you, Ashley, and be able to provide some great information about Spire to all the people that follow you. So yeah, thanks for having us back. And we absolutely, Spire is seeing some great success in this early new year, kind of regardless, or maybe regardless isn't the right word, in spite of the kind of challenges that everybody's seeing in the market due to higher rates and fear of job loss and layoff and all the different things that are kind of swirling around Seattle right now. We're really proud of the success, and I feel like our builder has been very responsive, which is not something you can't always count on that from individual sellers or large builders. They have numbers they want to meet, and they're not easy. It's not easy to get them off those numbers. But I think in the case of Spire, we have a builder that responds very quickly, understands the market, and does what they need to do to make sure that our momentum and our sales continue. And I think we've been really lucky to have seen that success.
Yeah, that's great. And it helps you definitely sell the homes too.
Yes, absolutely. On top of the fact that they're just lovely homes that people seem to love. Welcome. Yep. Anybody who has followed Spire before or been on any of our previous chats with Ash have probably seen this photo before. It's one of our quintessential photos that just really, I think, shows what makes Spire so spectacular, and that amongst many things is location. It is just at the northernmost point of downtown to be allowed to have this type of high-rise zoning. So we just have a northwest outlook that can't really be matched by a lot of buildings, because most other buildings have zoning similar in height somewhere around them. And we do not in our west or north face. So this Space Needle, Queen Anne, kind of Lake Union, you don't see the sound, but we'll have some other photos that'll show how great the sound views are too. But that is definitely a big draw. I think that on top of the fact that the location of Spire, I think, in kind of this Denny Triangle neighborhood has really transformed kind of what the center of downtown is. And I think, honestly, Denny Triangle is more central to downtown these days with all of the growth north than what has traditionally been thought of as a center of downtown, like Pike Place and Nordstrom. A 15-minute radius from this building out takes you through all of Seattle Center. It gets you to Climate Pledge for Kraken games and music venue. It gets you to McCaw Hall for the opera. It gets you to the waterfront. It gets you through all of the tech campuses in the Lake Union. And it gets you back to light rail, Nordstrom, and the market. So I feel like a lot of people have absolutely recognized that shift in downtown, and that kind of south of Nordstrom is more of a banking district. And it's a very specific part of downtown with a very specific employment profile that seems to be different than where Seattle has moved in the last 15 years.
Yep, I agree with that.
So we are seeing great success at Spire. So far in 2023, just in February, we secured 9 sales last month, and we had 12 closings. So those numbers to somebody that doesn't follow the real estate market might not mean a lot, but let's just put it this way. I doubt there are many other buildings that sold more than maybe a couple in the month. Mm-hmm. It's and I'm talking new construction. Obviously, resale buildings are going to be different, but new construction. So we really just killed it, and we're really proud of that success. But I think beyond being proud of the success, it's an indicator of what people see when they're looking downtown. There's a lot of great opportunity downtown right now. There's a lot of fantastic resale and new construction homes available, and I do think buyers are taking their time to look, but price and offering still trump everything else in the real estate market. And so we have some incredible prices that came about in the new year. And we also just have an offering in this building between views, amenities, finishes that people are really responding to. So I think, you know, kind of a silly cliche statement, but proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, true. Definitely is.
Speaking of the new prices, here's kind of just a quick little rundown of what we've got going. So our 1 bedrooms, our lowest price, starting price now is $464,000. Previously, our starting 1 bedroom prices were at $540,000, mid 500s. So we're down about 10% over the last 5 or 6 months. We've done strategic price reductions when necessary to keep the momentum going, keep sales going. So we did about a 5% reduction last October, November-ish, and that provided us about 5 or 6 sales in November. So it did exactly what we wanted before the end of the year. And then we did another 5% reduction in January. And as we just talked about, our February was absolutely fantastic as a result. So these price reductions are something people are aware of. They're seeing value in these prices at Spire, and it's definitely helping us perform. Our 1 bedroom plus dens are now starting at $835,000. Whereas they were in the 9s, and my 2 bedrooms have now, this is 2 bedroom, 2 baths, I should qualify. So almost 1,200 square foot, 2 bedroom, 2 baths. I have a 2 bedroom, 1 bath product that's, I have a couple left that are priced lower than this, but 2 bedroom, 2 bath, almost 1,200 square foot. I now have starting prices under $1 million. And that is a first in 3 years that I've been at this project. So that's incredible. It's a great, incredible opportunity to get into a 2 bedroom downtown, brand new, with parking and stay under $1 million. So very, very pleased with these prices.
With the 1 bedrooms that you have, can you talk about the starting square footage for those?
Yeah, in fact, actually, I should also probably mention both in the 1 bedrooms and the 1 bedroom dens, those starting prices, I think, you know, people immediately think starting price and assume it's got to be the absolute lowest floor in the building. But Spire's almost 65% sold at this point. We continue to be an incredibly well-selling building. That $464,000 is actually for a 12th floor home. So you are already over 10 stories above ground level. And this is for one of my J floor plans, which is our smallest 1 bedroom, but it is a true enclosed 1 bedroom with windows. We're not talking urban 1 bedroom or open 1 bedroom. We are talking true 1 bedroom, about 531 square feet with a great little Juliet balcony that faces west, gets incredible sunlight, and it even has a little peekaboo sound view. It is not a direct big sound view, but you are looking over Denny Way, over the low buildings that are around the Space Needle, and seeing some sound in Olympics out there behind Coma 4 building and some of those apartment buildings that run down Denny.
I will say to the square footage, you know, you guys have the wall-to-wall windows too. So even though you're in the 500, square foot range, facing west, you got the light, but you also have these expansive windows. And so it just makes it feel a lot larger and lives a lot larger than your floor plans do, than what they actually, look on paper.
Absolutely agreed. And I think also ceiling heights are the other piece to that. Minimum ceiling height at Spire is 9 foot. We also have over half the building with 9.5 foot ceilings. So some really nice tall ceiling heights that also help open up the space and bring in that much more light. My 1 bedroom den, that $835,000 price point, that's for 13th floor. So that is a north face. 13th floor actually gets a little bit of Lake Union views. It gets full Space Needle views, gets some Olympics and sound off to the west in the distance. It's not straight out your window, but kind of looking off to the left. So again, not only is it an incredibly great price for almost 1,000 square feet, but it's also not 4th floor, looking across the street at another building. It's above the buildings across Denny. So you are getting distance views out to Queen Anne and towards Wallingford and getting some of those Lake Union views too. So these new starting prices are actually for really great, I wouldn't necessarily say higher floor homes, but not low floor homes. So that's wonderful. Now, my 2 bedrooms, that's not necessarily true. The 2 bedrooms I've got under $1 million are going to be my lower floors, 4th floor, 5th floor. But it also, with those pricing decreases, means that you can get up to, on my west side, you can get to the 11th floor now and stay under 1.2. 11th floor starts to get you a peekaboo of sound. It gets you Olympic Mountains. It gets you full Space Needle. So that's, I think that home prior to price reductions was closer to 1.3.
Gotcha. Very cool.
The other thing that has really been helping drive sales is, on top of the reductions that we did, we have been offering a really generous seller credit through the winter months. And it has done exactly what we wanted it to do, and it's brought in the sales that we need. And in somewhat typical fashion of any seller, when things start to be extra successful, you start to look at ways of trying to bring some of your expenses in. So we know for a fact these incentives are going away at the end of the month. I think likely there will be other incentives. We are by no means trying to claim that the market is suddenly somehow recovered, but it's recovered to a point that we do not need to offer these in the way we have previously. So I expect that my seller credits are going to be going down in April. But for the remainder of this month, all of my 1 bedrooms get a 15,000 seller credit on top of all the reductions we've done in price. And all my 1 bedroom dens and 2 bedrooms get a $25,000 seller credit. So can be used for a lot of unique things. We can help you with ideas on ways to use it, but we find probably the majority of people are using it for the reason we put it out there. And that's to help with what's happened in the market, kind of counter some of those expenses we're all having to deal with. So, could cover your closing costs for your loan so that you have less cash you need to bring to the table. Most lenders, I believe through lending guidelines, will allow you to prepay up to a year of homeowners dues. So for a lot of first-time buyers, that is probably one of the best bangs for your buck you can get out of that seller credit, is easing yourself into the full payment you'll have down the road. But that kind of that new exciting mortgage that you've never had before, that's a little scary. It's nice to not have to pay 94 cents a square foot dues for the first year as you get used to these new expenses that you have. So prepaying homeowners dues is definitely popular. We've seen some people use it to purchase storage lockers in the building. You can use it towards upgrades with one of our vendors, Y Appliance, to do things like automated shades or automated lighting packages or sound packages. You can use it to buy down your interest rate. So we've seen some people who, perhaps are planning a longer term stay in their home, where they can get the benefit and the value out of using that money to get a lower rate on their loan as well. And I think a lot of lenders offer both temporary or permanent rate buy downs. So kind of another thing for first-time buyers, I think, can really make the purchase process a little easier oftentimes, is doing a temporary rate buy down, like a 2-1, so that over the course of 3 years, your payment is going to slowly go up to its actual interest rate point. But in those first couple of years, you bought it down at different amounts to kind of help get used to those new mortgage payments. So definitely things the seller's doing to make that easier for first-time buyers and not first-time buyers as well. But with the number of 1 bedrooms and kind of the location we're in, the majority of the buyers at Spire are often first-time buyers.
Yep. Very cool. That's awesome.
So with talking about all of those fantastic price decreases, one of the things we wanted to do was kind of give you an idea of where those starting prices are and what that can get you. So the J and the K plans are my 2 smaller square footage plans. They're both west-facing homes, ranging between about 531 to about 564 square feet. And again, all are true 1 bedrooms. So I have starting water view prices. These are homes that get above the apartment building across the street or looking straight west at the Sound and the Olympics. 20th floor of my J plan, which is the smaller of the 2, 525,000 for big water views. Yeah. That's pretty incredible. And then 2207 is my K plan. That one's just slightly larger. That one's coming in at 592,000, and that home qualifies to also add parking. So one of the things we've talked about in the past is how parking works at Spire, and in my 1 bedroom category, it's going to be based on a price point. So as long as the home is priced above a certain amount, you qualify to be able to purchase parking for an additional amount. As we've gone through price reductions and shifted with the market, that benchmark for what it takes to be able to buy a parking space at Spire has also adjusted. So when we started selling this building back in 2021, before it was completed, I think the benchmark to get parking was around 675 or 680,000, if I remember correctly. Now that benchmark is a little bit under 600,000, will qualify you to be able to add parking for the 75,000. So that is also a great thing.
That is very great. Awesome. And then
obviously for price point savings, people lower down, you see 12th and 14th floors of the same homes. And those are sitting in, mid to high 4s. This building has not had homes in the 400s in a very, very long time. So we've really opened up kind of a whole new buyer pool by getting homes back into some really great first-time buyer pricing.
Wonderful. Did you, can you touch on what the parking pricing is?
Sure. To purchase parking at Spire is going to cost $75,000 on my 1-bedrooms if the home qualifies. All of my 1-bedroom dens, my 2 bedrooms, those all have parking automatically. So that is worked into the price. It's not an extra purchase. And then we allow another benchmark that changed a little bit. It used to be 1.5. Now it's closer to about 1.2. On my 2 bedrooms and larger 1-bedroom dens, you can purchase a second space once you cross 1.2 for that same $75,000.
Nice. So the one that you had talked about, the lower level 2-bedroom, entry level 2-bedroom that you have, that one includes 1 parking spot.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
And then how much is additional storage?
We have varying sizes of storage. So we have anything from, my lowest price storage is kind of about a cube shape, about 4 by 4 by 4-ish for $7,500. All the way up to the biggest we have, I have, I think 3 or 4 left of what we call the extra large storage, which is about 8 foot deep, 7 foot tall, and about 3 to 4 foot wide. And those are $25,000. And then I have multiple sizes and prices in between, but the majority are either going to be the 7,500 kind of standard cube size, what we call a large, which is going to be 7 foot tall, and then kind of the 4 by 4-ish for $15,000, and then the extra large.
Very cool. And is there any restrictions on that, or those are open to all floor plans to purchase?
Open to all floor plans to purchase, and open to buyers to purchase after closing as well. We found quite a few buyers choose perhaps to not purchase storage up front, kind of assess what they need as they move in and figure out their spacing in their home. And then they come back to us and say, okay, now we know what we need. And the seller will sell you storage after closing as well. But only difference being you're going to have the cash on hand if you purchase it after closing versus having the option to finance it.
Gotcha.
Figured we just briefly talk about penthouses. I think we've talked about them before. Our penthouse collection is incredible. The views are unbelievable. As you're seeing here, these are photos out of 2 of my different 39th floor penthouses. One is the northwest corner, which is the right photo, showing you that incredible Sound and Olympic views that we have off to the northwest. And then the photo to the left is my northeast corner penthouse with views out to Mount Baker, Lake Union, the University District, Cascade Mountains, and Space Needle, though you can't necessarily see it from that photo. My penthouses start from the 3.6 million range currently, and that is for homes that are going to range between about a little shy of 1,900 square feet to about 2,600 square feet.
Yeah. And parking included with those 2, 1 or 2 spots? 2
spaces with all the penthouses, and a large storage locker that's valued at $15K are included in those purchases.
Gotcha. Good to know.
Yeah. We are happy to bring people in to see penthouses. Our seller just has one request, and that is that we see pre-qualification or proof of funds before showing to keep wear and tear down on the homes.
And how many penthouses in total do you have?
We have sold 1, and we have, let's see here, 7 remaining that are 3-bedroom, 3-bath or larger, and 1 kind of pied-à-terre 1-bedroom penthouse that's a little under 700 square feet, but with gorgeous views on the 39th floor that's coming in a little over $1 million. That's in that collection as well.
Very cool. Yeah, I think we've talked about that one before. So your penthouse levels, what are the floors?
39th floor is the official penthouse floor with 5 homes.
Mm-hmm.
And then because our northwest corner, that view is so fantastic, we take my northwest 3-bedroom and we work it down a few additional floors. So that's going to run from the 36th floor through the 39th floor. And then actually 35th floor, even though it's not our top floor, our largest, most signature penthouse is actually located on the 35th floor. And that was a home, that was a combination home. So it was actually 3 homes combined to make 1 home at 2,600 square feet that could either be qualified as a 4-bedroom or a 3-bedroom plus den.
Yep. And the total square footage on that one?
That one is 2,600 square feet.
Sorry, I think you said that, but wow, gorgeous. Wonderful. Well, thank you.
Yeah. So I think, we touched a little bit on this at the beginning, but yeah, I think a lot of brokers out there I think have similar feelings about 2023. I think we saw a wonderful little blip here. Rates kind of went down a little bit in February. We saw a lot of great activity. Rates went up a little bit of scare, I think, in the economy again this last week in the news. But at the same time, we're seeing great traffic here. And from what I'm seeing on the MLS, we're not unique. I think we might be topping the market, but we're not unique. Everybody is seeing good traffic again. People are out. We're walking into what has always traditionally been our best market, which is spring market. So there's usually more listings and more availability. So it's a great time for buyers to be out there. And I think that the second half of 2023 is really, from what I read and what I hear, is expected to really kind of be the beginning of the turnaround on the market conditions in the economy and inflation and interest rates and so on. So, the year's flying by. We're in March already. So
I know, isn't that crazy?
We only have only a few more months before we're supposed to be in that turnaround. So it's an exciting time, I think.
Yeah. And, for those out there too, buyers, we don't have a lot of new construction. It's not like, back in early 2000s where we had so many towers out there and so many options. I mean, we are down to a handful of buildings. And all of them have taken kind of measures to kind of keep up with what the market is doing. And it is showing. I mean, people are showing up and they are making reservations and moving forward, even though there are some uncertainties in the economy and the job layoffs and everything too. But, we're kind of reaching that point where you're seeing the value in the product that you're getting. And, to the future years ahead, Spire is going to be pretty timeless, until the next wave of buildings permitted and up out of the ground. There's just going to be no other options. So I think it's a good value to get into these new construction buildings, specifically Spire too, because of the view element. You guys are just so unique because you do have that. And also the location is in a developmental phase where, there's more added buildings and amenities that are coming to the location in Denny Triangle. And the city, as you alluded to it, is kind of expanding northern and kind of, we're just growing. So these are great prices. And
I love seeing the activity around this neighborhood. I'm even more excited to see the activity starting in May when we see a much bigger influence on the sidewalks in this neighborhood with back to work or back to office, I guess I should say, is a better way of putting that, not back to work. But I love to see what's happening in this neighborhood. Even now, the activity on the sidewalk is great. The restaurant openings in the neighborhood have been fantastic. I mean, just 2 blocks down the road is Scratch Sushi, which is probably one of the most acclaimed new restaurants that Seattle has seen. And it's right down the street. You're still having to try to get reservations months in advance. But an incredible, Michelin star sushi restaurant in California that's opened up here. So, we're seeing great opportunity, I think, in this neighborhood, and it's only going to get better as we see more foot traffic. And I think we've already started to see a little bit of the turnaround of, back to office has changed some people's ideas of where they want to look for real estate again. So just like walking into the pandemic and getting this idea that we could live further out, now suddenly some of those searches are turning back to downtown and saying, well, if we know we need to be commuting over half of our work week, maybe looking for that home out in the burbs with the yard isn't the smartest thing for us anymore. I don't want that hour-and-a-half commute down from Mill Creek. I don't want to be coming from Issaquah into downtown every day. So we're seeing that already. I think especially in some of our young tech buyers, they're taking advantage of the opportunity and the lower prices to kind of stake their claim in downtown Seattle.
Yep. And I know this is a little off topic, but you guys have a really unique kind of lobby space where you have the coffee bar downstairs. And I was just kind of wanting to get a feel for, is it creating kind of a different social element for your building in the morning, or how's that feeling?
It's great. I really enjoy having Himalayan Java, their coffee space located right inside our lobby. It's got a defined space, but it is open. And it really, it energizes our lobby. I think our lobby feels fantastic throughout the business day because there are always people spending time in that coffee shop, spread out working. It's also a cafe in the afternoon, so you can do beer or wine with some friends in the afternoon after work. It's been a fantastic addition to this building.
Yeah, that's great. And I even know in our building on the second floor amenity space, even though we have one little espresso machine, people are every single morning dedicated to that walk down to the espresso machine. And it does have a little bit of a camaraderie and a social element to it that kind of brightens up that space. So I can only imagine having it kind of fully coffee, and then also the transition into the evening, afternoon, evening time for beer and wine and what have you.
Yeah.
So great.
It has been fantastic. I'm very pleased with kind of seeing where some of these amenity spaces are going in new buildings and how builders really are beginning to think much more full picture of how someone spends their day and how the building that they're providing can help with that. I think especially with more work from home, people are looking to find the majority of what they need inside the front door of their building.
Yep, exactly. Yep, kind of never have to leave type of thing.
Absolutely. Instacart and Amazon Fresh bring us our groceries. You walk down to the lobby to get your coffee. If it's a work from home day, you don't have to even get out of your PJs if you don't want to.
Yep. Well, thank you, Larry. It's always a pleasure. And
absolutely
wishing you guys the best as we kind of move forward in the year. I know you're off to a really good start, so I hope that momentum kind of continues on. I hope that those buyers out there watching this actually come in. And you're open. What are the hours? I guess you're open for the sales center.
Yeah, we are open 7 days a week. And we go by appointment. So it does take a little bit of advanced planning to make an appointment, which I realize to some people might seem a little frustrating, but here's the flip side. When you are with us, you have our undivided attention, and you get us for as much time as an hour to tour as many homes as you want, to see all the amenities you want, and to know that because we don't have an open door, open house, walk-in policy, that nobody is going to take your time away from you. You get us with undivided attention. So with a little bit of planning, you can call in and get appointments any day of the week between the hours 11 and 5. We try to keep our appointments on the hour just to make it simple, but we look forward to seeing you. Just give us a quick call or an email and we will get you scheduled in so that we can tour you through the building.
Wonderful. Yep. And we'll post all your contact information, of course, too. So, and if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to either of us. And we'll maybe do another update later on in the year and just kind of see how everything wrapped up or is going as we kind of transition into our later half of the year into fall.
Oh, I guess maybe one other little thing I'll mention, because lending is such a big thing these days. Spire has moved past one major benchmark that opens up lending to quite a few more lenders than oftentimes new construction allows. Spire has received what is called a PERS approval. That's PERS. I don't even remember exactly what all the letters stand for, but it is a Fannie Mae lending approval that in essence opens this building up to virtually all lenders to be able to lend here. We will find that a few lenders still have a problem because we are just shy of what one of the other requirements are, which is owner occupancy. Fannie Mae likes to see buildings over 51% owner occupied. So that's always a challenge for these big brand new buildings to get past that. We are within 10 sales of crossing that 51% owner occupancy. So we are very close, but with PERS approval, many banks will no longer need that owner occupancy requirement with the PERS approval. We found, unfortunately, only a few banks that have still had problems. Bank of America's had some trouble lending here in the past, unfortunately, but other lenders that tend to be really popular in condos, Guild Mortgage, US Bank, Key Bank, we're getting lenders in here that can get it done, along with our 3 fantastic approved lenders through Chase Wells and Movement Mortgage. So that also makes the buying process a bit easier when you're looking at new construction, when the lending options open up a bit.
Yep, for sure. Well, good to know. We will sign off and look forward to speaking with you next time.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your time. Love being here.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.